without my family, this wouldn't be possible. They really supported me in my efforts. They've tolerated me a long time, and I know it's not easy living with a former Marine, and especially a deputy sheriff as well, but at least my family and I, we don't have to fight over any ironing boards anymore. But I would like to thank all of my colleagues for coming out. Sheriff Waters.
Watson.
Sheriff Watson. Sheriff Watson. I hope I'm not, I don't have to pay for everybody in attendance this evening, nor did I pay for, people to make the remarks in which they made this evening. And Judge Kales, the attorneys present, Mr. Weaver, members from the Circuit Court Clerk's Office, Juvenile Clerk's Office, General District Court Clerk's Office, Commonwealth Attorney's Office, Victim Witness. We thank you guys for showing up this evening, taking time out of your busy schedule. I see there's a doctor in the house, and I hope I don't have to pay for your presence, ma'am. And I even got my barber here. Thanks for coming out, Mel. He keeps me looking good, about as good as he can, and get rid of some of the gray hair. My neighbors, Jose Pena, Miss Ora Pena, thanks for coming. Mr. and Mrs. Carney, thanks for coming out, guys. This is, I would like for security unit, please stand if there are some. You report to the Sheriff's Office. I would also like the other members of the Portsmouth Sheriff's Office to stand. Any other members? Thank you, guys. And I really would like to also thank Mr. and Mrs. Foster. Of course, I worked at this particular venue for over 20 years. I guess the last day I worked here was about 3 weeks ago. And this was a great venue, and I'm surprised that anything is going on here with the exception of bingo. So I really appreciate them opening their doors up to, for this occasion. And of course, I can sit here and talk about a lot of people here this evening, and I know I have relatives here from Raleigh, North Carolina that came up. A good friend of mine, one of my colleagues that worked with us a few years ago, Mr. Pearson, came up here from Charlotte, North Carolina, man, and it's great to see you. Great to see you. There's one person I want to talk about here this evening, in which I think everyone in here may know who that is. It's not my of course, those are my kids, my family. They are the most important people in my life. But another person which I've had a relationship with, a very, it's been a great relationship with, and that's Judge Kales. Judge Kales and I think we started working together about 1981. So it's been a little over 20 years ago, and it was great. I mean, it was really amazing working with him, and he made me feel comfortable. I was, very intimidated, despite the fact that we've been knowing each other for so many years, and even if I went in his office Monday, I still would be intimidated because he's a judge. It's not as comfortable as you may think it is, but I'm gonna miss all of my colleagues. I'm going to miss getting called into Judge Kales' chambers. Usually it's not a good thing, but usually I, go about my business, but I'm still intimidated when I am called in his chambers. So it's not as comfortable as you may think. But I'm going to tell you a little something, which I can tell you right now. There is not 3 people in this room, no. something that happened to me many years ago in the early 90s, about 1993. I was a young man back then. It's been a little while, about 19 years ago. And like I said, there's not 3 people in this room that have heard this. I'm going to just give you an idea as to what type of man Judge Kells is. And I've thought about this a lot. And I know Deputy Rice, Master Deputy Rice, is one of, with the exception of my wife and my son, probably no one else in this room have heard this. Something about Judge Kells. In about 1993 or so, I went to the doctor. And the doctor, gastroenterologist, told me that I may have colon cancer. And I went home, told my wife, cried for a couple of weeks. My family in St. Louis and all. And of course, I told Judge Kells. And this guy, Judge Kells, he said, "Let me tell you something, Smith. If your family ever need anything, they can call on me." A couple of weeks went by, and I was seeing hard, of course. And my doctor called. And he said, "Mr. Smith, we ran more tests on your biopsies. Come to find out, you don't have colon cancer." Gave me some medicine, and I've been fine ever since. And I think that was a blessing. But I knew the authenticity of Judge Kells' word was true. But hey, I did not have cancer. But I knew this man was very supportive. He was, and just the authenticity as to what he told me about if my family ever needs anything. It really, it really made me feel good. So, Mrs. Kell, you almost inherit 4 grandkids. And a daughter-in-law. But in closing, hey man, I just want to thank everybody for putting this together. Major Clemens, all of my colleagues and friends, Mr. Ron Jones, Ron Rice, who's everybody know he is my best friend. And you may have seen some pictures there. He and I was in the Bahamas, a couple of occasions. But we did have our significant others with us, so don't think we go to the Bahamas by ourselves. But he's my boy. He's been my best friend, and Ron Jones as well. I'm just a little biased towards Marines, former Marines, and there may be a few in the house. Any Marines in the house? Let's get that out of the way. See the Marines? I see about 5 anyway. But once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for coming out. Appreciate it. Sure. Watson, thank you for being like I mentioned to you, a few weeks ago. I appreciate what you've done to, for me and my family. You put me in a position to supervise a great group of young men and women in Port Security. These guys has made my job so easy. I'm just glad that they're a group that has jumped and they trust me and my judgment. I think I've been called in every judge's chamber in the city of Portsmouth, and it hasn't been pleasant. But, they happen. I'm just going to give my answer. I'm not going to repeat probably when I leave. There's some things in which Judge Kells probably say that I would rather not repeat when I leave this chamber. But, thank you, Sheriff Watson, for the opportunity to work under your administration. Great group of deputies. I love these guys. They're my family. I guys. Up to this point, it's like I've been on a long vacation. But like, I'm not going to drop off the face of the earth. I'm still going to come and see my colleagues. And once again, I just going to miss you guys, love you guys, and I've always enjoyed being a member of the Portsmouth Sheriff's family. And I appreciate all you guys, and I wish you luck. Thank you.
There you go, Smith. There you go. Go ahead, seat.
We got one more thing to do.
Vanessa, why don't they play?
Yeah, let's play.
Yeah. Hey, play it out. Play it out.